Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be getting started shortly. I have not received heat sheets yet, and timers are just coming out of their meeting. My name's Mike. I'm with Common Guy Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'll be doing minimal commentary today. I'll just try and keep you up to date where we are. Hopefully, you'll be able to follow along based on on-screen graphics. If somebody could, real quick, just quick comment in the YouTube channel if everything looks and sounds okay. You should hear a little ambient sound out of the pool. We'll hear the start indicator and then cheering and so on. Just a quick rundown here. Have a couple different camera angles. So my intent is to give you kind of a in-pool user viewing experience. So this will be the start camera, and then I'll have the scoreboard in the top corner for the whole time. And then after the start, I'll transition to a mid-pool view, and then possibly, depending on the way the things are lined out, this camera unfortunately doesn't show the near lane one turn. So I might transition to this camera view, corner view, which should give you a pretty good view of the whole pool. If I do get heat sheets in time from the start, I do have the ability to do name overlays here, so you can see that the lane assignments with the names, gender, team affiliation, and then seed time. Our pool here, lane one, is at the bottom of the pool. So just to keep that, and for reference, you can kind of see a 1 on the flag, and also on the starting block, there's a little 1 indicator. So then from here, if I do go to this longer view, I might put up the names this way so you can get another reference to understand where the swimmers are. Hopefully that helps your viewing pleasure. Thank you, Brian Peterson, for acknowledging. So with YouTube, a couple things. As you're watching, you can pause your view and then either pick it up. You can also rewind and fast forward. It doesn't impact anything. So, if you wanted to go back and, see somebody start or see a turn. So my intent is to give you kind of a view of, things as if you were here. So hopefully it all works out. So as you can see, the kids are marshaled on the far side of the pool. There is a gym, actually, ironically, just above us here. So they are marshaled down from the gym and then lined up on the far side. So you can see there to the left of your screen, there are timers lining up. I haven't seen clipboards come out yet, so if anybody's familiar with kind of protocol, we get scratches, we adjust all the entries, and then potentially, shuffle things around and then confirm. I'm sorry, just getting a text. And then confirm, we just want to make sure there's no events with 2 kids in one heat. So we might have to move things around again. So that's what's probably going on right now. And so at that point, they'll produce heat sheets for the officials, and I should also get a copy, and then hopefully I'll be able to display that for you real quick. And then also then use those names electronically as the overlay. Oh, and one thing, so top left, the scoreboard, I need to adjust that a little bit. So that's the in-house scoreboard hanging on the wall. All right. So that, just real quick on that, a couple things. Some scoreboards list place on the left-hand side. Our particular template, as you can see from the previous race, lane 3 was first place. You rock. All right, I got heat sheets. So the place is off to the right. I know some people prefer it, some don't. And then the other thing you see just under the title banner is a lead lap. So probably not applicable for this, but you know, if you have a longer race, that's counting the laps for the lead swimmer. So. All right, so we're starting with event 31. I'm going to kind of try and pop this up on the screen real quick here. All right, I know that's an eye chart. Give me 1 second. So somebody get your phones ready if you want to take a picture of the screen. So we're starting off event 31 here. Medley relay, 1 heat on the girls' side, 1 heat on the boys' side. So I won't be able to display all the names of all the swimmers. So if you could, you want to take a screenshot or a picture of that. Going forward beyond that, I'll be able to display the names of the swimmers as they're kind of queued up, the next heat names. So you'll see like Sophie Klein down here. While event 32 is going on, up in my top section of the screen there, that yellow and orange, I should be able to display the names there. So again, you know, right now, just if you could take a look for the swimmer of interest there in the first couple relays. I tend to not read all the names. I'm very bad pronouncing some of the names, so as opposed to that, manning the stream, and I'll display the names on the screen. All right, so here's a quick rundown of the whole heat sheet. Zoom out a little. So this is a relatively short session. If it has our start time up here at 11:25 a.m., if I scroll to the bottom, you know, 12:26 estimated finish or estimated start time for the last heat. All right. So I'll keep an eye on the chat area. If there are questions, you can post them there. I'll take a look there. I'll leave this on the screen kind of in a smaller view. All right, looks like we're getting ready soon. All right, see officials. I see swimmers going behind the blocks. All right, so this is up top. You see the orange text? So that says next heat, but in a sense, that's the current heat that's about to go off. And what's going to happen, hopefully, if I get back here. All right, hopefully everybody has that picture. If it is a particular swimmer you want to know where they are, shoot me a chat and I'll take a look. So then here's our lane assignments for those teams. And again, this is based on the way the seating came out. If there are last-minute changes, I'm not going to get notified of that, so you got to reference the scoreboard because in the office, they're a little better at kind of making last-minute updates. All right, so now I just updated the orange text. So you'll see that is the boys. So it's, even though it says next heat, there are going to be scenarios where that's going to actually be next event. All right. So in this case, next heat happens to be next event because we have 1 heat on these girls. All right, so that's kind of the view, quick overview. Any questions, comments, good, bad, indifferent, or good, bad, or suggestions? Post them in the chat section. I'll take a look. All right, again, the event, I'm going to depend on the scoreboard up there for the description. So you can see up top in the kind of aqua color, girls 11-12, 200 medley relay. Hopefully that scoreboard's large enough to view. Kind of, I try and keep it on all the time, so I bury it in that corner. So this will be the view as they're swimming, and then optionally I can pop up the name so you can get a reference there. All right. And again, you know, this is the wide angle view. Okay, so we see this 2 officials down the bottom. Looks like we're getting ready. Just conferring lanes, timers. Looks like we're ready to go. You need to go. All right, so anybody not familiar with our pool's layout here? So unfortunately with those windows on the other side and it having a light snow, it's a little brighter than normal with that glare. So I'll try and adjust a little bit, but not much I can do. So this is a 25-yard, 6-lane pool. And in the top right of this view, you see those doors and windows. That's also a 4-lane pool we have for warm-up and cool-down. You might see a swimmer come in and out of that area. And then also, they're marshaling upstairs in the gym. All right. Looks like we're going. Wow, what a race. A tie to start the day. How about that? All right, so real quick, lane 4, you see the dashes there. So that represents when Colorado doesn't see a touchpad time, but collects the button time or the backup timer. So if anybody's not familiar with that, we have volunteers with physical stopwatches, but also the one that doesn't have the clipboard also has what's known as a plunger or a backup timer. And that's connected into the timing system. So that's what those dashes had represented, that was pushed outside of a time window relative to when the pad was touched. So very exciting race there between lanes 2 and 3. Now so the scoreboard has been updated there for the entries. So the times are still applicable. All right. Somebody wanted to swim some outside smoke there. He's moved into lane 5. So just to complete the thought, so that's still an official time. It will just be reviewed in the office. So we're underway here. Sorry about that, a little slow on the button. All right. So the names up top in orange are the girls for event 33, 11-12 50-yard freestyle. So here's lane 3 coming in on the finish. So that's going to conclude our relays. We're going to move into 50 free. We have 3 heats there. Here's our girl entries for heat 1 of 3. And then just kind of looking ahead, we're going from 50 free on the girls' side, and then to the boys' side, event 34, there's 4 heats. And then we move to 200 back, 1 heat on the girls, and 200 back, we have 1 heat on the boys. I'm sorry, a little slow there. And then we move to 100 free. So I'll recap more of that when we get a little closer. But here we go with 50 free on the girls, 3 heats, and then the boys have 4 heats. And up top in orange are the girls for heat number 2. Again, if anybody just joined us a little late, the blue text there you see with the name overlays, those are the seed times. Those do not dynamically get updated. Unfortunately, I don't have that high tech of a system yet. Maybe someday soon. All right, so again, this is heat 1. 50 free girls. And here's the names of the girls in heat 2. And up top is heat 3 swimmers. Upcoming Heat 3 in blue. And up top in orange now the boys for the first heat of theirs. All right, here's our 3 boys in this first heat. Heat 1 of 4. And we have 4 swimmers in the next heat up top. All right, that completes Heat 2. In blue are the swimmers for Heat 3, and in orange up top are the swimmers for Heat 4. And that'll conclude this event. And then we'll move to event 35, 200-yard backstroke for the girls. We have 1 heat on the girls' side, 1 heat on the boys' side. All right. So the boys there in blue, you see the names in the lanes. That'll be your swimmers for Heat 4. And up top are the girls for the next heat, the next event, sorry. 25.74. Very impressive time there. Great swim, boys. All right. Moving on to the next event, event 35. And again, these results should be being updated in Meet Mobile, so you can follow along there. All right, so in blue are the girls in this event, and up top are the boys following up in the 200 back. All right, so while these girls are making their way, so after the back 200 backs, we move to 100-yard freestyle. So 4 heats on the girls, 3 on the boys. Then we move to 200 breaststroke, 2 heats girls, 1 heat boys. 100-yard fly, 2 and 2. And then 200-yard IM, 3 and 2. All right, so it's a pretty short session. There is another session after this for the older kids. All right. So for reference, up there on the top on the scoreboard, you can see that lead lap. So as a swimmer here in lane 3 touches, that'll increment to 6, symbolizing 150 yards complete. And one thing of note, this scoreboard, and basically the template we're using, doesn't display places based on the splits or, incrementals. It's only at finish. So that's the rightmost column there with that P to the right of the cumulative time. All right. Good job, girls. And here's the boys for their 1 heat of the 200 back. And up top, that's heat 1 of 4 for the girls' 100-yard freestyle. All right, so there was a situation, lane 4. The touch didn't register. So the pads are not sensitive on the top, so in the backstroke, if you come over and hit the top, it's not going to recognize that. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like the timer had hit the plunger either, so. But that'll probably refer to a manual time, and we should be good to go on that. All right, so we're going to clear the pool for the backstroke, and then we move to the girls' 100-yard freestyle. 3 entries in this first heat. All right, so, yeah, I kind of assumed that. So it looked like only one swimmer came up for heat 1. So we had 4 swimmers in heat 2, so it looks like they'll consolidate those 2. So I think that was... I think it's Hallie Feldman there in the yellow cap. We see her walking to lane 3. All right, so let me real quick if I... I'm going to try and do this real quick. So I think this is what's going on. Nope, we have a swimmer in lane 1. Oh, sorry. I think this is what's going on. All right, so this is listed as heat 2. Hallie Feldman moved down from, no fault of hers, just the way that, based on scratches and other components. And up top is the swimmers for heat 3. So again, lane 1, Hallie Feldman. And then we move to heat 3. Yeah, so just to recap, there was 3 swimmers in event 1. Looked like 2 had scratched. So as opposed to having a swimmer go out solo, they moved her back. Fortunately, you know, the way sometimes things work out, that following heat 2 was not full. It actually had 2 open lanes. So good job by the officials. Good job, Hallie, adjusting. All right, so in blue is heat 3 swimmers. In orange up top, heat 4 swimmers. Again, 4 total heats here for the 100 free. And then we move to the boys' side, which has 3 heats. All right. So in blue are the swimmers for our final heat of the girls' side. And orange is updated with the boys' entries. For the first heat of the boys, which will be next, heat 1 of 3 on the boys' side. This is 4 of 4 of the girls to complete this event. All right. So that concludes the girls' 100 free. There's the names of the boys in the first heat. And the second heat is up top in orange. All right, this is heat 2 in the water. Heat 3 names are up top now. And here's our swimmers for heat 4. So that's going to conclude the boys' side of the boys' event. So next is event 39, 200-yard breaststroke. We have 3 girls in first heat. All right, and just updated the girls' names up top. So if you are experiencing kind of the degraded picture a little, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm getting a network warning here. So sorry about that stuttery picture. Trying to figure out what's going on. All right, so that's in a complete heat 1 here. And our entries for heat 2 are now displayed in blue. And up top in orange are the boys' entries for after this race. All right, so I apologize if you are seeing a degraded picture. I am recording this, and then I can upload it separately. So, again, apologize. Can't really figure out why it's dropping packets. Actually, might have just cleared up a little. All right, again, I apologize. So our lead swimmers are at 150. And again, this is the last heat of the girls. 200 breast, then we have 1 heat of the boys. And then we'll move into 100-yard butterfly. 2 heats of the girls, 2 heats of the boys. Right, so here's our 3 boys entries for the 200 breast. And up top are the entries for the first heat of the girls' 100-yard butterfly. All right. So that concludes the boys event. Here's our girls entries for the 100 fly. Again, we have 2 heats on the girls. Heat 1 in the water, and heat 2 up top in orange. All right, so that was heat 1. Here's our swimmers for heat 2. And up top of the boys for the next heat, which is the next event. All right, so 2 heats on the boys' side. Yep. No, that's right. All right, here's heat 2 of the boys, which will, after this, will finish this event off. And then the names up top for the girls as we transition to the next event, which is a 200-yard IM. Yeah, again, unfortunately, lane 4 seems to be having pad troubles. I imagine they're recognizing that in the office and will address it. All right, here's our 3 girls for the next event. Again, 11, 12-year-old 200-yard IM. 3 heats total. So names in blue at first heat, names in orange second heat. So kind of coming near the end here. So we have 3 heats on the girls and then 2 on the boys. So I was just notified that there is a ceremony for the seniors, say senior ceremony, at 2:15, and I'll be live streaming that. So if anybody would like to join that, even if you don't have swimmers in that session, I'd like to celebrate the graduating seniors class of 2022. All right, so that concludes heat number 1. Here's your names for heat number 2. This will be the final heat on the girls' side. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, stand corrected. There's 3 heats on the girls. There's the names for the girls in the 3rd heat, up in orange. And again, pad in 4 is not registering the touches. All right, here's our swimmers for the next heat. All right, and I've updated the names for the boys in the first heat of their 200 IM up top. Again, when the dash is there, that represents the plunger time. So don't worry, there's an official time. It'll be taken care of in the office. Great swim there. All right, so that's going to conclude the girls' side. And we're going to move to the boys' 200 IM first heat. Congratulations to all the girls. Great job today. Again, we have one more session coming up for the older kids, starting 2-ish, I think. If anybody's wondering, just out of curiosity, the names going on and off there at the start, it is not synchronized with the starting system. It's purely just my reactionary time, so please don't use them, the names going on and off, as any indicator of the start of the race. I do try and keep the light in view. You see it right at the bottom there. Just again, sometimes there's audio delay when you're live streaming, and I try and compensate for that. but sometimes I don't get it exact. So if you're ever watching this for training, you can always, stop and kind of reference when the light goes off. That should be pretty good indication of when the horn was heard or horn was initiated. All right, this is heat 1 in the water. And we have one other heat of 6 swimmers. And those names are now up top in orange. I appreciate you joining us today. Always looking for input, feedback. I did have the network issue today, so sorry about that. I will upload a portion of this, which should resolve that kind of stuttering or frame issue. So I apologize for that. But again, if you have ideas, one thing that was fed back was basically capturing the scoreboard times when an event finishes. I can kind of do that. I have an idea way to do it. The problem is presenting that on screen without confusing people, because it would basically look like the same scoreboard. I can't capture the text. I'm not plugged into the scoreboard, the timing system. I'm just basically doing a screen capture of it. So I might put it in the bottom corner and just kind of vertically scroll it. So I'm thinking about things like that. But, the fallback or another option to that is Meet Mobile. Those times are updated pretty quickly after the event's completed. They're not official because they're just pulled off the timing system. They're not taking into account any scratches or DQs that might have occurred. But again, any other things you might have seen out there? I'm can't compete with the Olympic type graphics, but trying to give you as best a viewing experience as possible. So. All right. So swimmer out in lane 5. And again, some will be addressed with that pad and 4 during our break. And here's our swimmers for the final heat 2 of this event and the final race of this session. Yeah, Henry, underwater cameras, unfortunately my insurance company won't allow it. So it's been talked about. There are low voltage cameras. I appreciate the idea, the thought. Just that, there's even with batteries or anything around water, so it's that, and should there be any other kind of issue, can't really get into that space. But to that point, the Summit program, and I don't know about the other programs here, they do have training cameras that they use for underwater recording to try and give a viewpoint of dolphin kicks and how streamlined swimmers can be. So, all right, Henry, appreciate the acknowledgement. I try and kind of produce a good product. Sorry about the little hiccup today with the network, but we'll try and figure out what happened there and prevent it from happening again. Again, this is Mike with Common Guy Sports. Thanks again for joining. All right, so that's going to conclude our coverage. Should you had a swimmer during that period where the network was a little degraded, check back to the channel. If you just go to youtube.com and search Common Guy Sports, you can find my channel, and you'll see I'll upload something saying, session 5, recorded section, or something like that. Or just reach out to your coaches, and they could put you in contact with me. Or if you want, my email is on the About page of the channel. So it's commonguysportsnj@gmail.com. So that's going to conclude this session. Thanks again. And hopefully we'll see you on the next session or in a meet down the road.